Oh, hey, fancy seeing you there. It's been a second, but I'm back in action and I'm happy to be here with a market update for you guys out there in the Miami-Dade market because it's crazy and it's been a second since we did a market update, but it's time to get back on the ball. And today we're talking about single-family homes in the Miami-Dade non-luxury market, okay? And we've had some movement on what that even means since the last time we talked, as I bumped my microphone there, and the price point from what it takes to be considered a luxury single-family home in Miami-Dade has shifted to no great surprise upwards, okay? So last time we did a market update a few months ago, it was $1.8 million. Prices have done nothing but rise since then, and thus the top 10% of the market, which is what is usually considered the luxury market, the top 10% is now marked at $1.96 million, so up about $160,000 since the last time. Now again, that represents the top 10% of the market is over 1.96. So in this video, we're talking about the primary market, the other 90% of the real estate transactions. And that's based on the last 4 months of sales, okay, through August of 2019. So this is all super fresh data, super fresh information sets coming at you guys straight to the dome, all right? If you want to know about the luxury range, that'll be in a forthcoming video, but you can, save this channel or subscribe and make sure that you, get that when it comes out, all right? So we're going to be talking about the inventory first and foremost here. So active listings versus number of new listings, all right? Active listings are the current inventory, okay? And that is basically the supply, all right? How many listings are on the market right now? While new listings reflect the flow of fresh properties that are entering the market monthly, okay? So right now, we've been in a historically low inventory environment, so we wanna see the new listings line going up more than it is here in the blue line, but we'll take what we can get, okay? But let's talk about it here. So number of active listings came in for the month of July. We're talking about July. We're looking at the last 10 years here, by the way. So you can really see how much inventory has decreased over the last 10 years. We used to be floating around, in the 10,000 plus range. Now, we're lucky to crack 4,000. So for July of 2024, number of active listings came in at 3,684 right there on that green line. It was up 1.6% month over month from June, but get this, it's up 27% year over year from last July, okay? That's last July was at 2,900 units. So from 2,900 to 3,684, that's a 27% increase, which is great, okay? We want to see inventory increasing. However, over the past, 7 months of this year, we haven't seen an increase in active inventory like I was hoping that we would see. It's pretty much been flat, all right? Now, new listings, that's the blue line here, came in at 1,495. That was actually up 10.6% month over month. Doesn't look like it because we're on the 10-year scale, but it's a pretty decent little month over month bump up right there. It's not crazy, but, it's something. And it's actually up 227 units or 17.9% year over year, okay? So from last July over here, up about almost 18%, okay? Now, next up, we're going to be looking at the chart that does nothing but go to the moon or Mars if you're, with Elon, which is median sale price and the number of sales, okay? So, this chart also, again, on the 10-year time scale, we're looking at median sale prices coming in at $630,000, okay? That's up $10,000 from June and up $30,000 or 5% year over year. Now, 5% year over year is exactly what I have been saying that I felt like real estate was going to appreciate over this year. So I think that, you know, by next January, we'll still kind of be in that, or this coming January, we'll still be in that kind of range. I believe what I've been saying exactly is between 5 to 6% appreciation, okay? So, you know, looks like I'm so far correct. Smash the like button if you think that's great. And we can see how this line, you know, from the pandemic time here, we can see how drastic that increase has been versus the preceding years. Now, that price action going up so much more drastically is due in large part to the increase in demand overall for people wanting to move to Southeast Florida, to Miami-Dade, and the fact that we're in a low supply environment. Now, sales, that's the blue line there, came in at 927, okay? So we're still kind of locked in this under 1,000 range here that we've been in for the last like 2.5 years. That's up 3.9% month over month. You can see the little tiny baby tick up right there, 3.9%, and up 2% year over year, all right? So nothing crazy there. Again, we're still in this historically, you know, very low inventory environment. We've been stuck in this friggin' 900 range every July since 2022, hinting at a slightly reduced demand, but that's likely due to high prices because not everybody can afford $1.96 million luxury homes. Median sale price, in case you were wondering, without that $1.96 million adjustment would be $665,000. So you see $35,000 higher median sale price without adjusting for the luxury and non-luxury market. Now, the reason, again, I've explained this in other videos, but in case it's your first video or whatever, the reason I do this is to give you more context, okay? A lot of times you hear, you know, we'll just call them real estate professionals, will give statistics on the market and they'll tell you the average sale price. Oh my gosh. When you've got 10% of the market that are, you know, $2 million and above, and then out of that $2 million and above, you know, about 20% of that are $5 million and above. You've got 10, 20, 30, $40 million mansions. You don't mix that in with $300,000 and $400,000 fix and flip homes, okay? As far as the data goes, it's a totally different market. So that's why we differentiate it, to give you more context. Again, smash the like button if you appreciate getting better context, better data, so that you can have a better understanding of what's literally actually happening in the market. So 665 versus 630, and then the sales, you know, about 10% higher, 1,029, okay? Now, in real estate, the relationship between average days on market and the original price to close price ratio, or the OPCP ratio, is often very interconnected. And we're going to talk about that next. It can give us insights into market conditions, pricing strategies, and buyer behavior. So average days on market came in at 56. That's down 1 whole day from June when it was 57 days on market, and it's up 3 whole days from last July when it was 53 days on market. So overall this year, the trend has been downwards, as you can see in that green line, you know, since February when we had 69 days on market, i.e. we're at 13 less days on market now that we're at 56 days on market. So it's been a downward trend over the year so far since that February, okay? Now, the close price to original price ratio, that's our blue line there, all that is the difference between what a property was listed at originally versus what it ultimately sold at, and then averaging that difference across the market, okay? So if a property is listed at $1 million and it sells for $900,000, that's a 90% close price to original price ratio. So you take that idea and you average it across the whole market, okay? It's the only time we use averages, all right? Now, the close price to original price ratio came in at 97%. That's down from 97.1% in June and down 0.7% from 97.7% last July, okay? Now, this suggests a slightly slower market, but still a very competitive, strong seller's market, which we're gonna get into in the next slides. But what I wanted to point out is that if you look at here on the on the cumulative days on market, we've we're right around that 60 mark, right? 60 days, about 2 months on market, okay? And then in the pandemic, you'll notice that close price to original price ratio, this was actually off the charts. Most homes were selling for more than what they were listed at. And then when, interest rates at the end of 2022 started peaking, started going up, we see the close price to original price ratio drop because buyers lost buying power, okay? The things kind of normalized. Properties were sitting a little bit longer on the market, and then things started to kind of normalize here, and people were able to start buying properties again. They kind of got used to a little bit higher of an interest rate environment, and then things have kind of normalized to where we are taking about 2 months for properties to sell, and sellers are generally getting about 97% of what they're asking for, okay? So we've sort of reached, after this is a 5-year graph, after this, sort of 5 years of trying to find parity, trying to find balance in between what sellers are asking for versus getting, and how long it's taking for that to happen, okay? So we've sort of reached this interesting midpoint. We can visually see it with this graph. So I think that's signs of a healthy market, but of a market where competition exists, okay? Because 2 months, although it's not a long time for a house to sit on the market, it's enough time to get competitive as a buyer. However, from a seller's perspective, it's not so much time that you need to start worrying so much about your pricing strategy unless, and this is a very big asterisk, you've been on the market for that 2 months and you're not getting offers, okay? So there's so much more I could say about this. But it's best to sort of curtail this information to specific circumstances, i.e. your scenario. So if you want to know how this applies to you, your life, your situation, your home, your plans to buy, all my contact info is in the description down below. You can reach out to me anytime. I even have a Calendly link there. You can just set up a meeting with me and it'll be perfect, okay? So next up, we want to talk about the months of inventory and expired listings, okay? I almost left this one off just in the sake of time because my videos tend to be longer, but I thought, you know what? The people deserve the data, all right? So we're going to be talking about months of inventory and expired listings. They're very closely connected, okay? And they reflect the broader market conditions. Months of inventory is the amount of time that it would take to sell all of the current listings on the market at the current pace of sales, assuming no listings, new listings are added. And then expired listings are properties that were listed for sale, but they didn't sell, okay? And they were therefore removed from the market because they didn't sell within their listing period, okay? Now, more properties lingering on the market without selling, aka more months of inventory, the green line, eventually leads to an increase in expired listings and vice versa, okay? Usually. But let's talk about what's happening here. So months of inventory came in at 4 months of inventory, all right? And, we've been at 4 since March of this year, even though it doesn't quite look like it because you see the line going up and down, but since right here, it's within the 4 range, okay? We round it out. We don't do like 4.1 months of inventory. It's just either 4 or 5 or 3, okay? Keep it simple, all right? So we've been at 4 since March of this year. It had gotten up to 6 months of inventory in January, but that's pretty normal. You can see every January pretty much it spikes, except for this January when things were going crazy. But you can see months of inventory pretty much spikes every January because things slow down, right? And if the pace of sales slows down, then it's going to appear that months of inventory sort of spikes, right? So we kind of have to take that into consideration, all right? Now, last July was actually faster than this year at 3 months of inventory, okay? So if you look at this July over here, a little bit faster, okay? And that also sort of hints at this healthy, still healthy market, but a little more competitive than it was last year. Because if you're a seller and it's taking you 4 months, you know, to sell your property versus 3 months, even though I know it's months of inventory, not months of days, you know, days on market, but just in terms of if it takes you an extra month to sell as a seller than it did last year, or it would have last year, then you're going to be more inclined to negotiate and strike up a bargain, okay? Now, expired listings, that's the blue line there. Coming up next, that came in at 1,321, up 9 expired listings from 1,312 in June, and up 35 from 1,286 last July for a 2.7% increase, okay? So expired listings, a little bit up, you know, but overall, nothing crazy to get too worried about in terms of, oh my gosh, is the market going to crash because nobody can sell any homes and they're all going expired and it's a disaster? Not really, but the market has slowed a little bit. Although things are competitive, days on market are still pretty dang low if you ask me, especially compared to a lot of places in the country. We're still in a low inventory environment. This means that it is still a seller's market, especially because we're under 6 months of inventory. However, we're in an interesting seller's market where, you know, interest rates are still a bit high. We're at about 6.5%. Conventional 30-year fixed rate mortgage right now if you have good credit, excellent credit. So 6.5% could be a little bit lower if you have great credit or excellent credit and low debt to income ratio. FHA is actually just under 6% as of yesterday. I saw it was at like 5.94 or something like that. So, you know, interest rates are getting a little bit lower. They should continue to get lower, but we're still in this market where inventory is low and interest rates are a little bit high, okay? So what that means if you're a buyer is that these sellers are, if they're very motivated, they're going to be willing to negotiate a bit, okay? Which is great. And the buyers that I've been working with, that's what we've been doing. The sellers that we've been working with, you know, the most important thing, and I know I always say this, but the most important thing when you're selling a property is pricing the property correctly, okay? Especially in this type of market where buyers are very discerning because of interest rates, because of high prices, because of the rising cost of insurance and all these things. They want to make sure that they're not going to be house poor once they move in, right? So they're being very discerning about prices. You know, you can't just throw something up and think, oh, well, the right buyer will come along and see the value that I see. That ain't how it's working, okay? People are not unintelligent. People are very intelligent, in my opinion, and they're going to be looking at the comps, especially if they're working with a realtor like myself, and they're going to be seeing exactly what your property's worth, and they're, you know, probably going to hit you with a negotiating, you know, price point in their offer. They're going to want to try to get a little bit off that list price, right? Which is not crazy. You know, it's nothing to be afraid of if you're a seller. You know, in our listings lately, we take it as a case-by-case basis. And again, the most important thing is making sure it's listed properly, making sure that the marketing is top-notch, making sure that we are, you know, responsive and communicative to all parties, handling everything as professional as possible, making your life as easy as possible as the seller, coordinating and collaborating with you to make sure the house shows as best as possible, that we have the right times to show it and all of these things. There's a lot that goes into it. Again, best to speak about it in exact personal terms for your situation. But that's kind of what's going on in the market right now for single-family homes in the non-luxury range. Let me know if you guys have any questions in the comments down below. Reach out to me. All my contact info's in the description down below as well. And I'd love to hear from you. Would love to help you out. You know, that's about it, guys. Welcome back to me. Welcome back to YouTube. I didn't intend on having such a break. If you're still here in the video, you know, watching till the end, I just took a little bit of personal time. Sometimes we all need that. Take a step back, get a little bit of perspective. Going forward, I'm going to be doing these market updates, and I'm also going to be trying some new things on the channel. Life is good, you know, despite all the rain we've been having here in Miami lately. But, you know, life is good, life is beautiful, and I hope it is for you guys too. Jake Fletcher here with the Fletcher Group at eXp Realty, your Miami real estate agent, and it's always a pleasure. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.